Welcome back to the channel, guys. Today I've got some more FPV content for you. We're looking at the Racer X Xtreme 5. As always, I'm Jeff with Titan FPV. First order of business, guys, if you're not already subscribed, please do so. Click that notification bell and you'll be notified when I upload things like this and all new content to the channel. All right, guys, let's dive into this 5-inch racer build from Racer X FPV. If you've been following the channel for quite some time, I've built a few of their frames up. This is one I've had for a while, and I wanted to build it up, but I needed the right components to go with this build. So when HDZero came out with the Nano 90 camera, I knew that's going to be a perfect fit, as this frame's only designed to fit a nano-sized camera. You've got this nylon printed canopy with a shark fin. You can get these in multiple different colors. I went with the green and purple. I feel like it stands out better. For motors, I went with these Diatone Toka 2305.5, 2650 kV. Super flat pancake motors, but they're getting the job done. For the stack, I went with the Diatone F405 Mini Mark II. So this is an oldie but goodie. I believe it's rated at 25 amps for the ESC. We've got the HDZero Race V2 VTX. It's power switchable from 25 milliwatt on up to 200 milliwatts. Paired with that, I've got a matching TrueRC OCP antenna, right-hand circular polarized UFL. Fits in this 3D printed antenna holder nicely. And for the receiver, if you notice, you can see it's up front here. I went with the Happymodel EP2. It's got a ceramic antenna. This is a race build, so we're not going for range on this one. I used some of the Emax tape to secure the motor wires down. Gives it a nice clean finish. Out back, we've got an XT30 connector. I did also use an XT30 to an XT60 adapter when I ran some different lipos. For the props, currently I'm running these Gemfan 5126 props. These motors have a 5mm shaft, but you can also run these props on a T-mount. Initially, I did run this with the Ethix P3 peanut butter and jelly props. I think I prefer those. They have a slightly higher pitch. It does come with a Racer X battery strap. Flip it over. It also comes with a pad. I have not... Gross. I haven't used the pad, but it does come with a silicone battery pad there. You can toilet take the battery if you want to go that route. This frame does have the design language from the other Racer X frames, so it does have this front brace, as well as this one flat across the back. Now the bottom plate is one piece of carbon fiber, so there's not individually replaceable arms. So if you do break any part of the bottom plate, you'll have to replace the entire thing. Now, I believe they do sell just the bottom plate, but looks like that is, I believe, 4mm thick carbon. We can check with the calipers here. Excuse me, it's 5mm thick carbon. So 5mm carbon on the frame. Got this nice pattern. Very robust. It's stiff. It is a one-piece frame, but it is pretty nice and tight in there. I have thoroughly enjoyed this build. Now this is a lighter build for a 5-inch race frame. I ran two different types of batteries on this one, trying to get the right size. I figured these RLINE Tattu 750s would be a good match. I'm running 4S on this one with the 2650 kV. This stack's only rated to 4S anyway. But I found I was only getting about 3.5 minute flight times with these packs. So I want to go with something a little bit more robust. And these are reasonably priced. China Hobbyline has these 4S 1100 packs. Now they are an XT60 connector. So if you run an XT30, you'll have to run something like this adapter. Or you could just, some people do run an XT60 on this stack anyway. I didn't really notice a performance decrease by running the XT30. So it's whatever you have readily available. It's what I would recommend to use. Like I said, I did prefer the Ethix P3 props. They've got, I think they're 3.1 pitch props. These are 2.6, so a little bit more aggressive. I went with the Rotor Riot black and purple theme props. These motors have held up pretty well. I think these are also, a lot of people use these for Cinewhoop because they're pancake motors, and they didn't have any problem propelling this light 5-inch. Speaking of weight, let's go ahead and get one for you guys. Bring the trusty scale out. So the dry weight, we're coming in at 214 grams with this RLINE 750 4S. Coming in at 298 grams. So the way it's set up with HDZero, it's not going to be under the 250 gram mark. And with these China Hobbyline 4S 1100s, we're coming in at a hefty 359. So still lightweight for a 5-inch racer, but it's not under the 250 grams if that is your thing. Racer X is under new ownership. I hadn't heard much from them in a while. William Perry, if you're familiar with any of the FPV groups on Facebook, he's very active. He picked up the rights to Racer X FPV, bought them out. So I would look for some new designs coming out from him. You could still get the frames and parts on Phoenix 3D as well. Just look forward to that. I know if you're like me, I thoroughly enjoyed the Racer X line of frames. I think he does have maybe some ducted quads coming out, some other stuff, maybe some more race frames as well. So keep an eye peeled out for that. William, if you want to send me any frames to review, I'm here for you. But all in all, this has been a fun build. Been something I've had laying around for a while. I was waiting for the right components. You can fit a Whoop board in here, but I went with the 20x20 stack. So things are going to be a little bit tighter in there with a 20x20 stack. That's why I went with the Race 2 VTX. Got everything nicely secured in there. Now the Nano 90 camera, if you've watched my video on that, I'll post that up here in the corner. Check that one out if you haven't already. It does fit, but since it's 14 millimeters across and I think 19 millimeters tall, it's much taller than traditional nano size cameras. So it is a tight fit, but I've got it down, I think at the lowest angle that pretty much this one will go. What's that? Maybe 35 degrees. There is a little bit of room in there. I did run the 40 millimeter MIPI cable. So I ran the short MIPI. Tuck the wires under here. Got some, hid my wires. Got some nice joints in there if you can see them. I'm running a capacitor out back. It's going to clean up any of that video noise. One thing I did want to notate, there is a bug with Betaflight with some HDZero transmitters that they will, if you plug the quad into USB to configure it with Betaflight, it will put the quad into DFU mode. The workaround for that, the easiest way, now guys, always you want to have props off when you're configuring your quad and on the bench. You can plug a lipo in before you plug it into USB, and it won't force the flight controller into DFU mode. You can also solder up resistors in line on the VTX, I believe, and that will take care of the issue. This is a tight race build, so I'm not having any of that. I'm okay with just plugging the lipo in, but remember guys, be careful. Props off when you're configuring Betaflight. Other than that, I didn't really notice any negatives. It was a fun build. I think it's clean. This nylon print should hold up well. It's going to be much stiffer than TPU. Those are my specs for my build. Guys, if you're thinking about building one of these, post those comments down below, and like I said, I'll get back to you as soon as I can on those. Now, Good Venture drones, I don't know if you're familiar. They're going out of business. They're having a going out of business sale. I'll post that link in the video description. They got 15% off everything currently. So check them out. They're good guys. They get their stuff shipped out quickly. Never had any issues, and I've ordered from them multiple times. They have some of these frames in stock. So if you wanted to get 15% off one of these, that would be my go-to at the current time. Thanks again for tuning in, guys. Sorry it took me a little bit to get this content out. I promise I have a lot more content coming soon to the channel. Keep your notifications going. Keep the comments coming. And keep those quads in the air, guys. As always, we'll catch you in the next one.